Throughout August, we've been sharing free episodes from our Patreon exclusive shows to give you a glimpse of what we offer on patreon.com/kindafunny during our August Patreon pledge drive. To sweeten the deal, we've just released the first episode to everybody of 20 Minutes of Tears, an 8-episode Let's Play series with Greg Miller and Brian Altano diving into Tears of the Kingdom. If you enjoy it, all 8 episodes are out right now on patreon.com/kindafunny for all members at the $10 tier or above. Thank you for supporting the wild adventure that is Kinda Funny. If you haven't joined in yet, kindly consider doing so before the month concludes. Thank you all so much.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm one of y'all. Oh my God. It's one of those
sad.
Someone clicked on the video alone and we're like, just Greg and Tim, and then just one fog machine.
Something's been going on with the fog machines, Greg.
Since we got them.
Since we got them. But I would say they have a pretty damn good success rate of just working.
Yeah.
Because they are well maintained.
Yeah, well, it's on the calendar.
Boys, all right.
On the calendar.
They do a
Cut
great
the
job
housekeeper
out there.
a check. Fucking take care of the goddamn fog machines.
Pretty much, yeah. The only things on our calendar that aren't either a show that we're doing, a meeting we're having, Nick doing whatever Nick is doing.
Watching a movie.
At any given moment of the day.
Yeah.
Or just the housekeeper cut her a check and the fog machines need to be cleaned. So there's a schedule. They are maintained, and it's great to see. Something's been going on today, though. Bless and I were doing games daily.
Yeah.
Barrett blasted these things, and this one, the right side, camera left, did its normal thing. The other guy powered up before it shot, and it was a big old blast. And you could hear it go before it went. It was like,
wow,
whoa, that's a lot. So now it's weird that this one just didn't go, and that one sounded like it had a double blast.
Barrett's coming out to kick it right now. He said, "No, Barrett." Yeah.
But do you notice that had a little extra oomph into it?
I thought that had less oomph.
Oh,
but
shit.
I think maybe it's just I go by sound, so
Yeah.
not having the other one probably throws me in terms of it.
Very interesting stuff for everybody.
It's very, ladies and gentlemen, this
compelling, riveting.
This is the kind of content you expect on the Kinda Funny podcast, because you didn't even know. I got there. There were some syllables there. There's some letters that I said there. If you didn't know, each and every week, 4, sometimes 2 best friends gather on this table, each coming to hang out with each other and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. The fastest housekeeping intro we've ever done.
Ever. Period.
Ever done.
Literally
that, you know
maybe since day one. I love it.
I like to keep guessing, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, of course, you can go on patreon.com/kindafunny. You, of course, could subscribe, and what you would get is each and every episode ad-free. Of course, you can watch them as we record them live, just like Murder with Mertens is a horror film. Murder with Mertens, a horror film podcast is. And I was going to do other names, but it's just Murders with Mertens today. All right, Jesus fucking Christ.
A lot of words.
Too many goddamn words in there for one
Anthony
name.
Corbett, Melissa Hagler, Rachel.
I said we weren't going to do other names.
I did. You said you weren't going to.
Roger Porcorny in the chat says there's an energy today. There is. Chat, I'm going to be leaning on you a lot. It's me and Tim. I have 44 pages of questions for us, but I will also be pulling from the chat if you want.
Holy crap. Are we going to answer every page of questions?
We'll get to a little bit what we're going to do here in a second. All right, too. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, on Patreon, you can get 300 plus episodes of exclusive bonus content we've put up since the October Spare Bedroom launch. Of course, you could also get exclusive merch like the Trog shirt, which has one more day on it when you should be getting this publicly. One more day. And then, of course, you get to watch the other podcasts live as we record them. You get all the shows ad-free.
And isn't that the best part of it?
Ad-free? Or watch the other podcast?
I mean, personally, I think ad-free is the best thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people watch shows with ads. But I pay, Greg.
Yeah.
I talk my shit, and I listen to my shit too, and I listen ad-free because I pay. YouTube Premium, best decision I've ever made.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Ever, everybody.
You look at Peacock,
engaged.
you look at Hulu, you look at Disney, all of them, ad-free. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Sure.
I can't stand these
fair.
ads.
It is a big deal when I come down off my mountaintop and I use something else and there is ads in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Don't like it at all.
No.
So anyway, I don't understand that for Kinda Funny content too.
However, if you have no bucks tossed away, it's no big deal. YouTube.com/KindaFunny podcast service is around the globe each and every week for a brand spanking new episode. If you want some housekeeping, let's give you a whole bunch. 20 Minutes of Tears is our new Zelda Let's Play series. 8 episodes reuniting myself and the one and only, my Italian meatball, Brian Altano. Episode 1 is up on YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames right now. Of course, if you wanted all 8 episodes right now, you can go to Patreon.com/KindaFunny, support us there and get it. But don't worry, all 8 will be free on YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames. However, over on YouTube.com/KindaFunny, I put like, however, was as big as a cheeseburger the other way. So I was like, however, I got really big on it. Over on YouTube.com/KindaFunny. Saw 2 in review is up. Saw 2 in review. Saw 2 in review. Everybody now stop. Of course, you're hanging out with the one and only Alfredo Plays on this one. Very exciting, very fun about that one. Of course, it's up on the In Review podcast feeds as well.
It is, and I keep saying, Saw in Review, I think is a very special In Review series because, you know, it's getting into the niche there. Like, I understand that these type of horror movies, especially something as long of a franchise as Saw, where there are 10 entries.
I was going to say, I don't know how many Saws there are.
So the 10th one is about to come out.
Okay.
There were 7 in the original annualized releases, and then since then, one was in, like, I want to say 2017, and one was 2021.
Okay.
I want to say, and so now this new one's coming out, and it's going back to the original numbering. They're actually calling this one Saw 10. The last 2 weren't. Anyways, you'll learn all about that on In Review. It's been awesome though, because we have Joey and Alfredo. Oh, sorry, Joey and Nick, who have never seen the movies before.
Sure.
And then me and Alfredo, who are like experts in the Saw franchise. And then we have Andy, who has seen a bunch of them, but doesn't remember which ones and hasn't seen all of them.
Great.
So
this is a weird one. Isn't Andy usually afraid of horror movies? I know, it's not, like, Saw's not horror, but
it's so weird to me, man. I don't understand it. And we've talked about it a million times now, and it's still not making sense. Because like, I can definitively say that there are moments in Saw 1 that are scarier than some of the scariest moments in any of the Conjuring movies. Like, there are moments in Conjuring that are absolutely terrifying, but there's moments that are terrifying here too. I don't get it, but whatever.
I banish you back to hell. God, I love The Conjuring.
Nun 2 coming up next week.
Don't worry about it. Don't you fucking worry. I'm aware the Nun 2 is coming up because a couple months ago I turned to you out. The Nun 2 is real.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait. I fucking love the Nun. Let's go. Let's get in that cuckoo again. On top of that, over on YouTube.com/KindaFunny, a new episode of Kinda Munchies has been recorded. Square Pie guys, Mark came on by and made a bunch of weird pizzas, including the gamer pizza, where they reduced Mountain Dew to be a sauce. So that's something that's up. I don't know when it's going up. It's, we recorded it today, but it gets broken out, and I forget when. Do you remember when Kinda Munchies goes up?
I'm going to imagine that it 100% will be on YouTube in the
Roger!
7 days. 7 days.
Yeah, in the next 7 days, for sure.
There it is.
There it is. There's the gamer pizza right there. I'm sure DiGiorno loves the branding, too.
Doritos all over it. I love it.
Yeah, when's Kinda Munchies go up? Thursday, everybody. You can munch on some gamer pizza while you're watching our review of Starfield. And, of course, watching the marathon stream that will go as long as you want it to go, which is a ridiculous statement. And when we did it, I was like, cool. We thought it through. We're like, 48 hours tops. And now that we're talking about it, I'm like, fuck, we got to figure this out.
We really got to figure it out.
You said you'd do it.
I said I'd do something. I'll do whatever I need to do, Greg Miller. I know you will, too.
You know it. You know
Mike will.
Little Benny, he'll play.
That'd be fantastic. I can imagine him.
Thank you to our Patreon. Oh, I guess if you're an audio listener, that makes sense. We're doing a marathon stream of Starfield starting on the 31st at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is when the review posts. Mike will play Starfield for the first time, and as long as you keep subbing, we will keep playing. And we're going to see how bad of a nightmare that can turn into on a holiday weekend. We'll find out. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jedi Master Deadpool, James Hastings, Casey Andrew, Logan Delaney, Nathan Lamoth, and Patrick Delgado. Today we're brought to you by Rocket Money and Netflix's One Piece. But that's it. I was going to say topic of the show. Tots. I appreciate the attempt, Bear. And see, it doesn't sound louder.
No, so that one definitely sounded limp. That sounded like, I don't even
That's
want
how it sounded
keep
the
going
first time.
With what I was about to say.
It sounded like a fart. I know what you're talking about, but like
That's
one of
not
those
what I
like
was
worn out asshole farts where it's just like,
a worn out asshole.
I've had him once, I've had him a million times. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I got nothing left. I've been farting too.
I saw a TikTok today, Greg, that really made me think.
Sure.
How come when you say who, it is cold air, but when you say ha, in his hot air. It really makes you think.
That's the kind of shit, man. You know, we missed out having Socrates so long ago.
Yes.
Because if he was around now, first off, nobody would care. You know what I mean? Nobody would give a flying fuck what this fat guy was saying.
Was he fat?
In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, he was, so I'm going with that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, you ever think about that? You should just be, I'm a philosopher. Be like, oh shit, he thinks.
That's his job. That's his whole thing.
I guess now we have podcasts. It's kind of the same. But you know what I mean?
We cannot put ourselves on the same level.
I'm just gonna say I'm a modern day Socrates. All right?
I feel more like the court jester type guy.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
That's just there hanging out. Every once in a while I make a joke, but more often than not, the king's just asking me to feed him.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Timothy, it's you and me on the Kind of Funny podcast.
It is. Makes me happy.
Up until about 10 minutes before the Kind of Funny podcast, I was working on Starfield stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I sat down.
I mean, that's the reason why this is what it is, right? Starfield, big game. Yeah. Lots of people working on it. Nick's gone. Nick's on vacation. Nick's in Greece.
Yeah.
But you know, we got Andy playing.
Yeah.
We got all hands on deck. People are working on stuff. Like even we're on a different set right now because we're just trying to keep things a little dialed down and simpler.
Yeah.
Because we have so much fun stuff going on. Barrett was recording something today. I'm not going to explain what it was, but it's really exciting. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Fun stuff abound here. Kind of funny.
And so when you and me come in to do the Kind of Funny podcast, usually it's something serious. Something bad's happened. We're going to do something where somebody's going to cry. I don't think that has to happen
no
today.
tears today.
But what I thought, of course, as I said, chat, make sure you come in with your questions and be a part of this. But I also then looked at the doc, and as you know, like you can write it for free, kindafunny.com/KF podcast to be part of the show.
Look how good you look.
Huh?
Look how good. Go back to the one. That is a fucking one if I've ever seen one, Greg.
I got these like two little hairs there.
But it's good though. I feel like your shirt right now has the right amount of rugged ruffleness going on that it adds to the whole mystique. I feel like the grays in your beard are popping in a way that like it looks like an accent choice there. Like this is great. This is one of the best images.
Collar shirt Greg is doing really well. I'm happy with a lot of them. I'm not thrilled with this shirt. This was a weekend.
This is a win.
This was a weekend purchase from Target, and I was stoked when I got it. Huh?
Is it Mosimo?
No. It's something I could pronounce.
Can I look at it?
$25, sure. The thing is, I sized it and I put on the large, and I would have told you off the top of my head I'm an XL. I put on the large, and I'm like, this fits perfectly right now, but if it shrinks at all, I'm not going to be thrilled. And so I did the wash, and the sleeves definitely shrunk. I don't feel tight in the belly.
No, it looks good.
But then when I look, go back to the one, Barrett, because when you do this, I see these like this little pulling section there. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that.
See, that's the ruffles, though.
They got the front. Is that what you're talking about with the ruffles?
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. No. Overall, it looks good, and like the ruffles are appropriate. You don't look like you're bursting out of it, which I think is what you're scared of. You don't look like that because the ruffles, the pattern, everything's looking good. It's Goodfellow, which is a Mosimo brother.
Okay.
Target has a bunch of brands that it rocks with that their own proprietary. That's not the right word. You get the fuck up.
Yeah, they own it. Is Cat and Jack? Is that one of them? 'Cause you wouldn't even know Cat and Jack, would you? What happened? You got to text everybody. One of the palms is.
It's one of the bullshit texts. Guys, I need to explain to everybody right now the type of life that I fucking live. Can you? There's probably not a way to show this.
You can do it, but put yourself in D&D so that if Gia texts is like eggplant, we don't see eggplants.
I don't know if you could see it there.
Yes. Million things. Greg Miller. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Barry gets these too.
It's the random bullshit. Tim, are you available? Greg Miller. But it's a random bullshit text that's just trying to fish and like get some information.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I don't at all. But what does it say about our relationship and just you as a person that I see this and the Saw music starts playing in my head and I'm like, do I want to play a game? I'm not sure. What is this Greg Miller I'm talking to, or have you cloned yourself and somehow?
Listen, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. I was playing Starfield out there in the living room, right? And it was a day booked to just play. And so I was doing that. And at one point, it was just me and Roger in the room. And that's dangerous because, there's nothing I like to do more than perform for an audience of one. You know what I mean? And so I started running through the old repertoire, right? What do I want to do or say to him and then say, no one will ever believe you? You know what I mean? That's the fun Bill Murray one that I like to take in a different way because I'll say something stupid and I'll say, no, if you ever try to tell anybody, they'll never believe I said this. And of course they would because I'm me. I'm like, no, that's played out. And I was like, what can I do? And then I was like, you know what I could do? I could schedule send to Slack for like 15 minutes from now and say whatever and then just be playing my thing, and Roger wouldn't understand what's going on. You know what I mean? But then I was like, well, if he's not at his computer, then it doesn't work. So there was like, and I was like, this is too much work. I'm just gonna keep playing the game.
Yeah.
But I ran through the things I could do.
You also had a very big box yesterday delivered here.
I did.
And
did you hear what I did with the box?
Well, I heard that you almost did with the box.
I did it and then undid it.
Oh, wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this, I think, shows maturity, of course.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Tim and I have been running this company for a while here. And, of course, I still think of us all as just a bunch of friends out there making the dream happen, which is true. But there also is a manager-employee relationship and da-da-da-da-da-da, where, of course, maybe they can't tell you to fuck off as much as they want to tell you to fuck off sometimes. And so yesterday we got a chair delivered from Xbox. They're doing this whole chair initiative, whatever. I don't fucking know. They're pivoting into chairs. You signed up for it. And then I was like, well, I'll take the chair home and I'll try it out and I'll do stuff at the desk downstairs. And I drive a Mini Cooper, which is a very small car. So I was getting ready to leave yesterday. Everybody was at the same time too. We were down to the skeleton crew. And I was like, all right, peace, guys. I wanted to get out. I hate being the last one out of the building. I do not like the responsibility of locking the door and arming the alarm and making sure it doesn't burn down. I don't want to be the last one. I don't want to be left holding the bag.
It's a terrible feeling.
You know what I mean? Exactly. God forbid the place burns down in general. But I would be so happy if it doesn't. I'm not the last one out of the building.
Yeah.
Again, not that I would. Huh?
Who would you hope it is most?
Nobody, because at no point would we blame
Nick?
that person. You know what I mean? Barrett's the last one out. Something
Nick.
in the studio pops and burnt. Like, that's not Barrett's
I think it
fault.
really depends on the person of if I'd blame them or not.
Okay.
I'd blame Nick.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Anyways, and I was like so excited to be because I knew everybody was packing up. I knew it was down to the wire. And then I looked at that giant chair and I was like, damn it, I'll get it tomorrow because I need to. Maybe I'll bring the big car. I'm like, well, it could fit in this shit. I'll just do it now. So you all left and I unpacked this chair. And what I did was, it was a huge box, gorgeous box. I wish it had come home with me because Benny would have loved to play with it. Anyways, though, I had all these giant box pieces. You know what I'm going to, and I was like, I know what I'll do. It'll be hilarious. I will build a box fort around Blessing's desk. And so I did. I took the things and I boxed him in. I had it was like completely, took the other thing, put it across the top. And then I took the other ones and just kind of layered on it. And that's when it started looking like trash.
Yeah.
That one, it didn't look organized. And then when I started to take that one away, I was like, wait a second. Like, we've all been there. If something happens to Bless in the morning or he comes in not a good mood, this could be the thing that pushes you over the edge.
Yeah.
And I sat about it. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. And I took it all apart. Because, he can't get mad because he can't even vent to me correctly if he's really mad at me about it. You know what I mean?
I think you're right to do that. You handled this correctly as an adult. Very proud of you.
Yeah.
It is also like an insult to injury that where Bless's desk is like it's the first thing he would see walking in.
Yeah.
And so his heart would drop like immediately. And on top of that, Bless gets in on the sooner side compared to most people most days.
Yeah.
So there's a high chance he'd be the first person here alone walking in and just having to deal with it.
He tried to pull that shit today. I do feel Roger and Mike beat him here quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm saying it's between.
No, really? Bear's shaking his head no?
I think it's a good split between myself, Blessing, and then Mike and Roger.
Of who first.
I feel
Mike
like
and Roger going out
anytime
to work
I'm
out.
here early, I see Mike and Roger here first. And actually, I would say Barrett's always in here working, listening to his music.
Yeah, because it comes down to Mike and Raj work out together, getting their swole on, getting all them chin-ups and push-ups and sit-ups and all the other ups.
Yeah, all the ups.
All right? They're doing that stuff. So when that happens, yes, they're here early. Otherwise, they're not here that early. But they drive in together. There's a whole situation there. Barrett needs to actually commute with buses and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot more leeway he gives. So he wants to get here earlier, get the shows prepped and all that stuff. Bless prepping games daily wants to be in early, so he comes in. So it is that balance between the four of them. If someone else is here earlier than them, there's a problem.
I've done it before. I did contemplate, and I don't do it often, right? But I did the thing where I was like, fucking Ben, my son, right? Because, of course, if it wasn't for Ben, I could have come in at like 7 o'clock and embedded myself in the fort because that would have been the best. You know what I mean? That takes it, even if Blessing walks in angry to see his fort built around his desk, if he gets close and like, oh, pah! You know what I mean? Explode out.
Yeah, that would have made it better.
Do the Rita Repulsa. Ah! You know what I mean? Like, that's a winner chicken dinner.
You won me over with the Rita.
I know. I thought I would. I thought that would get you there in the end. Of course, I don't really regret my son ever, but,
I get that.
Soon he'll be able to
You
sit
can put him in the box.
Dude, he would love it.
Yeah.
We just entered into the phase of me making shit out of cardboard for him at home.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. But then
Have you done a blanket for it at the house?
He doesn't love blankets. You know what I mean? Like that's not his thing yet. Even today, we got him laying in a blanket. He was a little happy watching his cartoons, but then he kicks it off pretty quick.
Really, I was a blanket boy through and through. Loved those things. Pillows, blankets, all of that.
We're introducing all this,
Wrestling.
the concepts. Yeah, wrestling will be. Yeah, exactly. That's why you need it there, right? You just toss them there and do the thing.
You know, one of the craziest things we did growing up. I must have told this story before, but growing up, the house I was in was on the third floor of a house. So the stairwell that we had was like pretty massive, and it would like go all the way down like in one straight shot, and it was the perfect size for a twin mattress.
Nice.
So when my mom and dad would go away, like to work or whatever, and it was like the summer, me and my brother would just straight up take a twin mattress, put it on the stairs, and just ride it down the stairs over and over and over and over. We were inspired by the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993. Of course,
lest we forget.
Where they rode a mattress down a sewer pipe. I'm not even sure what it was, but I'm surprised we didn't break our necks. Like, I'm surprised we never died, never got hurt. Not even
never
little.
got. Yeah, I was gonna say not get hurt is.
It's pretty surprising because it was not safe at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that reminds me of the mattresses, pillows, blankets. A lot of fun when you're a kid.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when you're into wrestling at all.
Yeah. And we're still getting to that. I mean, Ben likes getting thrown around. You know what I mean? He thinks it's hilarious to get picked up wrong. So rather than pick him by the armpits, you pick him up by the feet and lift him up. Like that.
I mean, dude, what is it about that? The being little, you just want to be fucking roughhoused. You know what I'm talking about?
You know it's out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is weird.
We would go to my cousin's house when I was little. My cousin Lyle, who was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years older than me. Bless you. Which is the perfect age size difference wise when you're young, where he was a lot bigger than us. So he would just pick us up in Mario 64 style, grab us and spin us and just launch us. And it was the fucking best thing. And like one of the best memories of my life. Just getting tossed around violently by a man.
Yeah, when we were in high school and we'd go back to Michael Bryant's house to play N64, his brother Pat always wanted to hang out with us. And he was, we're 16 plus or minus on either side of that. And he must have been like 7. You know what I mean? So
man.
He was getting fucked up, choked, power bombed. You know what I mean? Like, we were the height of the Attitude Era. We were the height of backyard wrestling. Like, we'll fuck you up, Pat. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that. Yeah. He was probably even younger than that, which is outrageous. I don't know.
Younger than, there's that sweet spot, where it's like, they like it, it's fun, whatever. And
then you cross that line, you do the one thing, and they start crying. You shut up, mom.
Be cool.
Yeah.
No, we're never doing this again. We're never doing this again. You just hurt them, and now you're threatening them that you're never going to do it again.
Exactly, yeah. Hey, man, they wanted it, though. They were in the room. They wanted to get drop kicked or whatever the hell you were doing.
Dude.
Tim?
Yes.
We ask people to write in for free on kindafunny.com/KF podcast. You guys leave your comments there. If they're not completely garbage questions, I put them on the document, and the document just every week gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I currently have 44 pages of questions that have date back, quite a while.
Fours.
So it's one of those that I feel like I'm going to just do random scrolls, find us things to talk about, right? But where I do want to start is this. This is actually from the live chat right now. Link 4555 writes in and says, Tim looking real good at the moment. The Pokemon Go is working out.
I appreciate the multiple compliments I've gotten today about that, which is funny because I was so uncomfortable looking in the mirror this morning where I was like, this shirt is tight.
Yeah.
And like, I do not have the body to pull it off, but it's like, there's something deceiving about it that I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take what is happening on the screen right now, even though it's not real. You know what I mean? It is a lie.
But it's the whole thing. I talked about this in the Greg way that I sent your brother that I don't think's up yet, about this shirt where it's like a little tighter than I want to, but it's also the undershirt I'm wearing. I wear large undershirts rather than XL undershirts because they're undershirts. And I just bought new ones, so I'm kind of still feeling them out or whatever. I like them so far. But what I'm saying is I can feel it against my skin, which makes me think it's too tight, but then also doubles back the body dysmorphia of like, is it too tight or is this how normal people wear their clothes?
Yeah, and this is definitely how normal people wear their clothes.
I just wear baggier clothes because I'm not thrilled about all the curves.
Yeah. This is how shirts should fit you in terms of like the fit.
This
isn't how you're supposed to look in the shirt.
Yes, it is.
But I'm fine. Look, I'm taking this only as wins here. It is what it is.
Have you noticed though with the Pokemon Go though? Have you dropped weight or are you even weighing yourself?
I do. I weigh myself very inconsistently, but like I was definitely like going into the studio and the studio launch. Like I was like the lowest I got was like I think it was 207, something like that.
Yeah.
And the highest I had ever been 245. So it was like pretty big gap there, right?
Yeah.
So dropping down to that 207, I've pretty much maintained that. And since then, I've been between 207 and like 212. Somewhere around there.
Okay.
I think I'm on the higher end of it right now. I think I'm on that 212 right now.
Okay.
But hey, I'm okay with it. 200 is like the mega goal, but to have a goal, you need to actually do things.
Yeah.
I don't actually do things.
Well, I mean, again, you're Pokemon going.
I'm going.
You're walking more than ever.
Yeah.
That's got to be good.
Definitely more than ever. Like I walked today. Walked real far today.
Today?
There's a daily adventure incense, Greg. It's 15 minutes, and like you get to walk. It spawns more Pokemon. You get the rarest chance to get one of the mythical birds, the Galarian mythical birds.
Sure.
They're hard to get. Anyway, so every day I've been doing a 15-minute little walk.
I love that. I love that.
I've been wondering where you've been disappearing off to. I'm like, it's not like Tim to just kind of disappear.
Why isn't he at his desk looking miserable?
I'm often having fun when I'm miserable.
I know.
You know?
I know. It's just
more of just I have a miserable resting face.
This is another live one. But I like it because then I'll get to the questions. James Davis says, weird timing. I was going to submit the question, what makes a good question to submit to KindaFunny? I like this one. And I think the answer is really the flip of the coin. It's either, hey, give me a question that inspires a good open-ended conversation, or give me a lot of specifics.
Yes.
You've heard us run through a hypothetical before. We need it. I don't love that. I'm sure something on here is bad that I don't like. I mean, first off, there's 44, but now granted, we're just great. We're conversationalists.
Yeah.
We don't need the thought starters, so that's a big part of it, right? But I think there's plenty of times where it is just like,
Yeah, I think the best question, and it's less about the question and more about the people on the panel, the day, the energy level of everyone, what everyone's been going through, all of that combined. But the maximum vibe you're trying to go for is a question that sets us off of like, all right, cool. I want 2 steps to a tangent. You know what I mean? I want one good conversation that's actually answering the question. Normally 1 or 2 people actually answering it, but by the time it gets to the third person, I hope we're talking about 2 separate different things.
Sure.
Already.
Yep,
That's a good question because that means that we got there with the conversation and it inspired us to go somewhere else. Now, there is a caveat to this. If, and this is an often if, Nick is involved, that all goes out the window.
Yeah.
A good question for Nick is anything that can just keep him on track for more than 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, how nice is it when a question's asked and every single person gets to answer it? And how often has that happened? I'm not sure to this day it ever has.
I hate Nick.
I hate him so much.
In this vein, here is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sitting on it for a while, and I'll let you know it's going to be a journey, everybody. Great. All right, you're gonna say, I can't believe Greg's been looking forward to this. Followed by, it's a shot chaser situation. All right.
Okay.
Ignacio Rojas writes in. Ignacio, of course, longtime KindaFunny best friend. Sup, guys? How's it going? So first, I have some news to get out of the way. Turns out I have cancer again. This time it's thyroid cancer. And although luckily it has a very good prognosis, it is still one of my biggest fears coming true, having cancer again. Sorry for the downer, but I felt like I needed to tell you guys. Well, with that out of the way, what are some of your most memorable birthday memories?
See, this is kind of funny.
Maybe you got a good present. Maybe you got arrested. Or maybe you don't celebrate anymore. Anyways, keep being awesome. And remember to get tested.
Dang. Well,
Ignacio.
Horrible news.
Ignacio. No, horrible news. Great framing for the question, Ignacio. Yeah. You've been around. Ignacio Rojas, if you've been around, you've heard his name. You know, you've seen him and stuff.
I've added you on Pokemon Go. Why aren't you adding me back, dude?
Ouch.
Come on.
Well, apparently maybe he's getting treated for cancer. Now, how do you feel?
I mean, I feel as bad as
when you're in the I know for a fact when you're in the tube, you can't use your phone. There you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't have you sitting here insulting fellow cancer survivors. All right.
Yeah.
He has a shirt. He looks good, and he thinks he can say whatever he wants about us.
Yeah.
Not on my watch, Ignacio.
But so I mean, that sounds like the good side of this, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, yeah, the cancer part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good prognosis, of course, but he's right there with me, right? One of my biggest fears coming true, having cancer again.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is my thing. Yeah. If I got Hodgkin's lymphoma again, the survivability is great. I'm not looking forward to climbing up the fucking mountain.
Yeah.
So, I understand that part of it. But, yeah, Ignacio, obviously, we love you. You've been great to us. We'll continue to be good to you by making fun of your questions and yelling at you and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
You got this. You know that, blah, blah, blah. But birthday memories. Do you have a birthday that stands out to you?
I mean, birthday memories, it's definitely the Kind of Funny prom and then my 30th birthday roast. Both of those, I think they were back to back. They must have been 18 and 19. Incredible. And I love that both of them are on camera, like that I get to relive them. And I don't often do that, but recently I've been working on a project that required me to go back and look at old footage and stuff that led me to some just all-time bangers. I found the first footage of us watching Greg's Game Awards win, which I didn't even know I had, because that was back before we streamed, like live streamed our reactions to things. So it was just me like filming the screen, which was so funny because back then I was more filming it for making sure that I had the footage of it as opposed to reacting at all. Because I wasn't sure that it was going to be uploaded on any site in any real way. So it's one of the funniest things. I said it to you and like, what is it?
It's just dead silence. And then it's Greg Miller, and you and Colin go, yeah! And then dead silence. You don't even talk to each other about it.
No. I mean, honestly, I do think it was a thing of us like quieting each other down. I'm just like, let's try to get this shit. But it reads really awkward and funny. But I still love that I have it though. Like I love like just seeing the living room like of the original spare bedroom, and it's like
old TV and everything.
you know like a smell can bring you back. It's like there's no smell involved in it, but it's like it's that feeling of like seeing it and like. I could immediately feel the rug under my toes. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, whoa, this is such a weird
like
time.
The awkwardly painted walls. You know what I mean? Where they're like such an awkward color, or it's like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like off white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, going back and like looking at footage from prom or looking at footage from the roast, it's so funny. Like Gia's mom roasted me. Like Gia and Nick threw me and everybody, but they were like the hosts of it, threw a roast for me on my 30th birthday.
Available on youtube.com/kindafunny.
Exactly. And it's so fucking funny. And everyone just fucking going after me and some of the best burns I have ever heard. But Gia's mom came up to surprise me and she roasted me and she killed it too. She had her wedding a couple weeks ago. And
you know that the officiant for that, the judge, was the same judge that married me and Jen.
No way.
We saw photos on Facebook. Like, oh, that's that guy.
That's kind of fun. The only person that's officiated less weddings than you. Or more weddings than you. You get what I'm saying?
I didn't mean.
But anyways, at some point I was asked to potentially give a speech at Gia's mom's wedding, mainly because they were like trying to get people to, and like people were like, it was a small wedding, people were backing out, and I'm like, I don't feel like it's appropriate if I do it. I was like, but if I do it, I'm just fucking roasted. Like, I'm going to take this opportunity to go in. No, it ended up not happening. They ended up getting enough people to say stuff. But
trying this again, huh?
I was going to go, but no, it didn't happen. One day, though, when you're least expecting it. I love her. She's great.
I'm sure.
I would never hurt her.
Birthday memories, I don't know. Like, I guess, there's a bunch, but then also none. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I think of it all. Right now, we're on the precipice of Ben's second birthday, and we're planning a party out in the park. And it's that thing where, like, we're inviting, everybody, but, like, who from Chicago will actually come, who knows, kind of thing. But it's been hearkening back to, like, my third birthday, I think, which we have the VHS tape of.
Awesome.
Of, like, the grandparents in the backyard and all this different stuff and me being little. I want to watch that when we get closer. I have it on I have the DVD of it or whatever.
That'll be fun.
But it's, like, because it's recorded, and when you're a kid, you're so obsessed with watching the little thing, the memories you have from 2 years ago or whatever. I remember watching it a lot, so it's like that birthday feels
important.
Yeah, exactly. When it was just a birthday, but I remember, like, again, to your talk of, like, the spare bedroom, the old place. I think of the old backyard and how, I don't even know what you would call it, right? But the, like, flags my parents would have, not flags of the nation, but, like, a white piece of string or plastic that then have the multicolored, like, triangles on it.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it might have been for
flag.
the birthday, but I feel like it was up all the time. But I remember those, and I remember the spacing of the trees being weird because our backyard was just weird or whatever. But like that, and like Poppy and Grandma, who my mom's parents, who when I think of, my thoughts of them are of them being so old and frail and, on their deathbeds, basically, right? Or at least ailing and having to live in a home or having to live with Aunt Dell. Whereas, like, this was them in, like, a dress and a suit and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, those memories that I was so young for that don't feel like the reality I knew them for, right?
Oh, my God. I mean, that reminds me of looking through all the footage I have been recently. I came across this clip that was just called, like Tim needs to kill Spider for Greg or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck? And I click on it And it's my brother asking me to kill a spider. My brother is deathly afraid of spiders.
To this day?
To this day. It's a real serious thing for him. No matter how big, small, doesn't matter. He's like, he can't be near it. Needs someone else to handle it.
I hate spiders as well, but if I ever see one in the studio, I take care of it for Cool Greg.
Barrett goes out of his way. Barrett's the best. Like, he really, he has
There
done
have been
that.
weirdly a lot of spiders here lately, Tim. It's fucking freaky.
But there was this big ass spider at my old house, and so I'm watching this footage. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't seen this house. The house doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
It was like not my original house, but the second one. And I was like, oh my god, this is so weird seeing the house. And I see my mom walking around. She's like nimble and shit, which is like I can not even think of my mom that way. And then the craziest thing is, out of nowhere, I hear a voice. I'm like, oh my god, that's my dad. My dad died like over 10 years ago at this point, and like I still hear his voice in my head. But like hearing it was the craziest thing. I like had to stop what I'm doing and call Gia down and be like, hold on, listen to this
glimpse from
and then she like listens. She's like, wait a minute, she has no idea, but she's like, just contextually, she's like, is that your dad? And I'm like, yeah. And like he comes on screen and she's just like, this is fucking weird, because like, I mean, he even at that point was way older than I am. It was like footage from 2007 probably, but I mean, I'm closer to his age than anything, so it's it was just the weirdest thing. But that's the magic of video recordings and home movies. And that was the era. It wasn't even a home movie. It was just me with a camcorder. It was my first ever HD camcorder. So I'm just fucking walking around. Literally, the amount of clips that me and Alfredo have that are literally just like a tree in HD, my pants in HD. Like, there's a clip of Alfredo driving with his, like, he just got a car for the first time. We're driving just to drive.
Yeah.
And I'm filming things just to film. And it's a shot of me just down my pants. And you just hear Alfredo go, oh my God, your pants look so good. Look at those pants. And he's being serious, like totally genuine about it. Weird ass times. Now it's just gonna be a bunch of kids dancing.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how that, because that is the same way, you know, when for your support on patreon.com/KindaFunny in October, when we filled the thermometer, we said we'd go back and me and Nick would commentate over my home videos. And so jumping into those, it was so bizarre to do that and hear like Grandma Miller's voice again, like in which you can think about, but you don't know what it sounds like. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, I hear Grandma Miller's voice, but I don't hear it. So to actually hear it on tape was a crazy thing, let alone, to see, you know, like when we're doing the Christmas thing, I'm like, oh man, the old house, and we must have just moved in because there's nothing on the floor in the basement and all the, you know, trying to piece together that stuff and put all the context. But then you lose your mind thinking about how old your parents are and that. I'm like, oh my God, well, that means that my mom is my age now based on this. Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
I'm not a huge birthday guy, but I just want to shout out two memories I have. The first one being my mom getting me an N64, I think, for my 5th birthday. And then later that day, my friends Amber and Marty came over to, like, we played like Mario Party together. And I'm not huge into celebrating my birthdays, haven't been for a long time, but back in 2019 or maybe 2020, I believe, was my 25th birthday. And it just so happened that one Jackie Hollywood was performing at a bar near my house, and we got a bunch of people together. It was like Tim, me, Cool Gray. It was like it was like a good chunk of people, but there was time to kill before the Jackie Hollywood show, so we were trying to like go to certain bars. One was like way too crowded and playing like Irish punk music, which I didn't want to like make people like hang out in the middle of. So we went to another bar that got shut down like 30 minutes into us being there, and then we went to a different bar.
It was like a drug bus type shutdown.
Yeah, it was like police came in and like the servers were like, "You have to leave now. You have to close
get
out."
Like whatever. It was so intense. My favorite memory of that night. Cool Greg, not to be seen again after that. He heard cops were coming, he was gone.
Well, the funny thing is he disappeared, and then the bar gets shut down, and then we start walking to a different bar, and then he just comes out of like a fucking alleyway.
I remember that.
And we're like,
hearing about that.
What the fuck, dude? And then we went to another bar, which is like where a lot of people ended up kind of like filtering out and stuff, and then it was Tim, myself, and Cool Greg just absolutely shit-faced watching Jackie Hollywood perform, and that was a good time.
The best.
Melissa Hagler says, mine would be hooking up with Cody on my 21st birthday. Well, look at us now.
Hell yeah. I love that. Here you are.
Doing a big random scroll, all right? We are ending. No, I don't.
Last birthday thing I want to shout out that his kind of reminded me of is when I was 4 or 5, my mom got me an Optimus Prime, like the legit Optimus Prime toy that you think of from the late 80s that they re-released in the 90s, the die-cast metal one, the trailer. And obviously obsessed with it. That was like the pinnacle of toys. Like nothing could be cooler to me at that point. I had graduated from my Thomas the Tank Engine phase to Transformers. And I remember this was back when the Golden Gate Bridge was a lot more lax about where you could be and like how you walk on it and like how limited you are to be able to be that close to the edge of it. But I remember like walking along the edge, like rolling the toy, and it was just like, I remember mom being like, "You stop!" Like you were going to drop it, and just I was so upset with her. I'm like, "No, I'm not going to drop this thing." And now you can't even get that close, which is so good. But such a vivid memory for me being a little kid having this back and forth about this thing. But there's a bunch of pictures of me in Sausalito with the Optimus Prime, like just right on the other side of the bridge in the North Bay. And that is like one of the most like ingrained in my mind memories, kind of like what you're talking about, because there was picture evidence of it that I can kind of work backwards and like remember so many key moments. And one of my favorite movie moments ever, just because of how it makes me feel and how it makes me feel like there must be a God out there, like looking down and like giving me a sign, is at the end of Bumblebee, the like 2018 Haley Steinfeld movie. Like there's this shot that's pretty much out of nowhere of Optimus Prime driving on the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's like the first time we've ever seen Prime in the old school flat nose truck, like 80s style, driving across the bridge. And it just felt like a weird, like, oh my God, this moment feels like recreating a moment from my childhood that only I experienced. It's not like, oh man, they perfectly adapted this scene from a comic book or this moment from a show or whatever.
Your memory.
It's like they made my memory on a screen. Freaking weird.
Do you ever stop and obviously your own interpretations of heaven or whatever, blah, blah, but like, I wish that there was like, the video game stats of when you jump in of like how many times, in a video game, how many people you've killed, how many miles you've walked, and stuff like that. Like, I would love to know, like, I know that's a deeply personal memory and true, but how many other kids have walked and like driven a Transformer on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like the kind of thing where, because those are like shared things, even not in the millions, but like,
I mean, dude, I love that because I feel like that's what's special about what we do is that we get to share our moments and our memories, and then we get to see people that can relate to those things in one way or another. And like we always talk about Kind of Funny is based on the idea of walking out of a theater after you just saw a movie and having that conversation of what you thought about it, or playing a video game with your friends and that shared camaraderie of like, it's not necessarily about the quality of the game, it's about the experience you guys are having on the couch or whatever that is and how that's evolved. And because of that, I feel like we've got to hear so many of those stories. Like you think you have something that is so unique and so only you, and then there's somebody that tweets at you that's like, yo, that happened to me too, or here's my version of it. And like it's just cool. We're more alike than we think.
Christian is the one who gets pulled here. You might say, oh man, when did Christian write in? A long time ago. This is page 26 of 34 where we ended up. Christian says, I will start with the story that goes into my question. I moved into my first apartment a year ago today, and I'm sure this is a long time ago, so congratulations on 5 years there. And of course, I need to do some grocery shopping. After the trip, I went to my dad's house and explained that I wanted to get Clausen pickles, but could not find them in the pickle aisle. Then I realized and explained that Clausen pickles are chilled and never heated, remembering what Greg has taught me. What is the strangest, most obscure thing you have learned from a podcast / YouTube YouTuber you follow? What have you picked up from the internet that is a weird thing?
I mean, this is one of those questions that's so hard to answer because I feel like
it's all just common knowledge now.
Of things. And it's such an interesting point where I was a revolutionary at IGN in so many ways, and like I felt that way. I feel like the people around me understood me that way. I feel like I got a lot of respect from my peers and from my like senior peers at there, because they understood I cared about this shit differently, and so I could bring a different perspective. And as time went on, that perspective got less and less unique because it just became the norm. It all comes down to I'm not better than anybody. I was just there at the exact right time of being in high school, graduating in that. I graduated in 2007. YouTube started in 2005. People started getting paid in 2009. And I was there for the entire time watching this all happen, watching Philip DeFranco and Smosh and I just seen all of them kind of like find their rise, Rooster Teeth, figure out how to turn it into a business, and was so fascinated by that. as things went on and that kind of got less like unique and just more standard of us working at IGN and applying like start happening and applying the findings and all that stuff to it, and like
the YouTube creators playbook.
Exactly, right? That kind of turned into, and I'm talking a lot about YouTube and shit here, but I feel like it applies to life in general.
Sure.
Getting to this point where there was the rise of BuzzFeed, where so much of the content was about sharing. It was about making an article or a video that people can relate to, so you want to share it. And then that kind of turned into like memes of like that moment when blank. And it's all just like, how do we take something relatable and get it as small and small and small and small until it's just like just a word? And now we're at a point, it's an emoji. You know what I mean? It's like just we can share an emoji and like we know what it means, or like our way of having conversations is so shorthand to represent feelings and relating to somebody.
Yeah.
But that's just so standardized, and it's how we all think about things now, that I'm so surprised at how easy it is to find out anything you want to know in the blink of an eye because you have your phone on you. And not that we take it for granted, just like how expected that is. Like, there is nothing out there that we can't figure out. There's no word we can't translate. There's no questions about stuff. We just assume tech's gonna work, and if tech doesn't work, we fucking lose our shit and go on rants about PC gaming.
Goddamn angry. Not even just about PC gaming, but yes.
But like, do you get my point? It's like, it's just things are so expected and just work so often that like I feel like when it comes to what's something I've learned on a podcast, it's like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's the expectation is I'm always learning something. Even just hearing a different perspective is me learning something. And I mean, goddamn, look at me starting in 2012, however you want to look at it, on podcast with you, to now just being on the shows has made me such a different person. Being able to be around so many different personalities, so many similar personalities, all of it, it's like you just learn a lot talking to people. Who the fuck would have thought?
Who would have thought, ladies and gentlemen? I have answers to this question. 2 of them, actually, even though they're not, I think, as goofy funny as this one or obscure, but I'm going to use them when I come back from telling you, of course, about patreon.com/kindafunny. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you could be watching live right now, just like the Hagglers are. Of course, you could also get the shows ad-free. You get them on demand ad-free. You can watch the other podcasts live as we record them ad-free. You could just have a great time over there and support us. Plus, you could get 300 bonus episodes of content. And, of course, exclusive merch, fun times, and other great things. But since you're not on patreon.com/kindafunny, here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. Every single person I know that has tried Rocket Money has been shocked at how many subscriptions they have that they forgot about. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps you lower your bills all in one place. Most people think they're spending about $80 a month on their subscriptions, when in reality, it might be closer to 200 plus. When you're signed up for so many things like streaming services you use to watch one show or free trials for delivery you don't use, it's so easy to lose track of what you're actually paying for. With Rocket Money, you can easily cancel the ones you don't want with just the press of a button. No more long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all the work for you. Stop wasting your money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. This episode is brought to you by One Piece on Netflix. The global phenomenon One Piece has finally gotten a live action adaptation on Netflix. This is an incredible world ruled by pirates, filled with never before seen superpowers and a hunt for a legendary treasure called the One Piece. It's an epic action adventure about following your dreams, searching for treasure, and ultimately finding your chosen family. The series was made by fans, for fans, old and new. Showrunners Matt Owens and Steven Maeda are huge fans of the manga and come at their work from a fan-first perspective while still allowing new audiences to discover and fall in love with this story. Manga creator Ichiro Oda was involved in every step of the process at a level which was never seen before in any previous live-action manga adaptation. One Piece is an action-packed, warm-hearted, and joyful adventure that you don't want to miss. Don't miss One Piece on Netflix, August 31st.
So for me, I'm with you. again, like, I'm scrolling through dozens of pages to find this, so I don't have like this, which is another one. Hey, how do I get a question right on the show? These are good, but anything that requires pre-production, usually not our forte, right? On this show, our show is jump out of the airplane and let's have a great conversation. So these aren't as obscure as the Clausen's pickle information, which I'm glad you understood and used to find in your refrigerated section. That's where you find Clausen pickles, of course. But I have two in here that I guess are somewhat related, but I don't think they're not from the same podcast or anything like that. Number one, I'd lead with, and again, they're related. They're both like relationship things, but any relationship, I don't think it's like just marriage or whatever, would be, I was listening to Michelle Obama when she's been out promoting her podcast, and I don't think, but it wasn't her podcast. I forget which one she was on, whether it was Julia Louis-Dreyfus or maybe it was just Fresh Air or whatever. It doesn't matter. Michelle Obama was on a podcast talking about her latest book or whatever. And one of the things she talked about in it was, her mentor program she's doing and how she's working with all these youth and how there's a misconception she believes with the youth that a relationship, marriage, whatever, is 50-50. And she's like, it's been so rare in my experience that me and Brock are ever 50-50. It's usually 70-30, 80-20. Somebody needs help, and that's what the whole gig is, right? Being there for the other person and being there. Like, that resonated with me, obviously, with what a rough year Jen's had with the passing of her mother and everything else, right? Like, that resonated with me of like, it runs in cycles. And it also then made me feel good about the fact that, in the run up to the studio last year, I asked a lot from Jen, a lot of sacrifice. Ben's first birthday, right? We did not do a big party because I could not get sick, right? We could not risk getting COVID a week before the studio launch and stuff like that. And so it is that interesting thing to reflect back and be like, oh, okay, that's interesting that's how that works, right? And I think even with us and you, me, and Nick, and you, me, and everybody else, there's a constant different balance.
Check in with each other. What is absolutely.
And the other thing I liked from another podcast, and I want to say it was Death, Sex, and Money, but I don't even remember, right? Which is probably good for these like toolbox ideas you're getting things, right? Was, when somebody's venting to you and talking to you, and obviously for me, it's usually Jen or whatever, right? But having a conversation to try when you're unsure what they want and go, if they finish what they're talking about, you go, awesome. Do you want solutions or comfort?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start trying to solve this problem with you, or do you want me just to be there for you and you vent and do whatever? And the first time I used it, Jen was like, thank you for asking. I was like, oh man, that actually works. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't, and then I went into the whole, I heard it from a podcast, yada, yada, yada. But it was so helpful in that moment of like, I don't want to misread the situation because I know how much I hate it when something's not right and then you try to, and it's not what I want right now.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
Totally.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Everyone listen to that.
Everyone listen to that.
It always helps. I don't remember where I heard that, but I a long time ago did, and I always try to do that as well. And yeah, it is just one of those basic rules of life. Like you always hear things that kind of at some point become a joke, and it sounds like just like a LOL type thing. But there is reality to don't ever tell someone to calm down. Just don't.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. It's never going to actually help any situation. There are other ways to express it and to actually get to that goal reached. You saying that is a by definition trigger word, right?
Yeah.
And so
no one's ever calmed down when they're told to calm down.
Exactly. And like I remember reflecting on that like back in like 2009 or something in some conversation I was in where I said calm down to somebody and then like they flipped the fuck out and really having to sit there and be like, where did I go wrong there? Because I literally just needed them to calm down because they were going way too hard. And then I realized I was like, in the history of ever, that hasn't worked. And it's never going to.
Believe it or not, a long time ago, on page 10 of 44, Melissa Hagler wrote in.
Wow.
And said, hello, what is cooler, dinosaurs or dragons? Thank you for your time.
Great question. I mean, the answer, my gut says dinosaurs immediately, right? Dinosaurs are cool. Yes.
There you go.
Dinosaurs are fucking cool. But then the moment you start thinking about dragons, they're really goddamn cool.
But
they're also lame as shit.
Sure, of course. Sean Connery, whatever. No, it's more the fact that dragons were never real. That's what stops it, I think, full stop. Yeah, sometimes dragons can talk. They can breathe fire. They can breathe ice. They can, come back from the dead or whatever.
Puff the magic dragon.
All this other shit. At some point, unless you live in a very specific part of the United States and believe a specific thing, dinosaurs were walking this earth. Mm-hmm. They were fucking out there. Triceratopses and shits. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It fucking cracked me up yesterday.
Me and you were at a restaurant last night. Look up at the TV and Fallen Kingdom was on. And Greg, I played this wrong. I really played this wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Had a good day at work yesterday. G had a okay day at work. You know what I mean? Not too bad, but like she wasn't in a great mood. She's like, I don't want to cook tonight. I want to go out and just get some dinner. I was like, wherever you want to go. She chose this place. She really likes the steak salad they have there. And I was like, cool. Let Sunset Reservoir.
I haven't been to the Sunset Reservoir.
Great wings there.
They still have are they still the small wings, but you get a big old bowl of them?
Yes.
Got
it. So we go
this
there.
place, Hop Monk over they have a bunch of Bay Area locations. We're out at a Costco, so we ended up out there. Oh my god, their wings were so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, were they good?
Interesting. I look up and Fallen Kingdom's playing on one of those TVs.
Yeah.
You know, subtitles on, no audio. The best way to watch a movie like this. And I have a problem when I am sitting at a restaurant or a bar or anything. If there's a screen on, I'm looking at it. I've never given a shit about sports one day in my life. The moment hockey's on, the moment baseball's on, I gotta know. I gotta watch. And I'm not even really.
It just drags your eyes.
It just drags my eyes. That's all that it is. And like, it's more of a joke than anything between me and G. Like I'm engaged in the conversation. I'm a talker. I want to hear what's going on. We're there. But I am comically looking over at TVs constantly. And Fallen Kingdom was on. And in my mind, I was like, I need to see the scene where the island's like blowing up, and we just get this fucking sad long neck just there, like, getting enveloped in this fucking smoke, making the sound. And I was like, how are they gonna show that in subtitles? Like, what's going on? And I started it with G being like, hey, I know I'm gonna do the annoying thing where I'm constantly looking at the screen. It's Jurassic World, so whatever.
She's just trying to forget her shitty day.
And I was like, but I promise you, I'm just trying to take a screenshot of one specific thing because I need to send it to KindaFunny. They need to see that this is happening. And she's like, cool, whatever. And God, I don't remember the movie that well. So, no, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. That island exploding scene lasted for like 45 fucking minutes. Yeah. I thought it was right there. Oh my God, it took so long. And at someone, I was like, I must have missed it. And I was just talking to her. I look up, oh my God, it's happening. And I had to pull it up. She's like, Tim, no. And I'm like, that's fair. That was on me.
That was on me.
Yeah, I got the picture though.
Yeah, you did, but at what cost?
At what cost?
Wait, what did you got? You got me doing the LOL emoji on it, and somebody else also did it.
You and Andy to give it a fucking emoji.
It made me happy. I was taking care of Ben. I was doing something last night. I looked at my phone. I'm like, it was a good memory.
That's what I was looking for. That's it. You know, what was that? I didn't expect a response.
Well, we all do that where you get the littlest thing in your head and you just can't stop.
You can't stop, man.
You know what I mean? Where it was like, last night, Jen was like, hey, it's 3 more nights before I go to PAX. Like, she's going to PAX and working, right? And she's leaving me with Benny. She's like, I'm going to miss you guys. Can I get you to come to bed with me every night? Because usually I stay up late and play games. And I'm like, sure, but I'm working on Starfield. I'm like, she's like, you can play it next to me. Don't worry. Like, remote play, while we're watching something. And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so, like, last night I sat down to set that up. And, like, this is supposed to be so easy. But for some reason, the Xbox here didn't sync the save. So it became me with the controller and the iPad. And by the way, remote play for Xbox, which I only use PlayStation usually. Remote play is so fucking cool, period. End of statement, you know what I mean? But it didn't do it. So then I'm texting Mike because a PlayStation, I can walk you through blindfold. Yeah. Xbox, I was like Googling and doing stuff. She's like, what's going on? And I'm like explaining it. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay. But I need to make the progress to do the thing. And the review's coming in. I was like, and so then it was like, it didn't ruin the night.
Yeah,
but
so what are we doing here?
Then she was trying to she's watching Grey's Anatomy with me, leaning on me, but I keep shuffling around doing so. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's fine. I don't need it. And eventually she moved to the other side of the couch. Like, damn it, I fucked this up.
Yeah.
I just shut up and not done it.
It's hard, man.
We're
just trying our best. Everyone's trying their best.
We're just trying to do our things out here. Let me give you a scroll. I like to find a couple on the page here. All right. Okay. I have there's questions in here about it, as you'd expect, what we're excited for in the studio. What are your favorite piece of work from home content? Like, we're dating ourselves here, right? Yeah. But, oh yeah. Ryan Povala Higgins, your question is not getting read, but it is. Monday marked 2 years since Greg announced KindaFunny was going to start their work from home project. Anyways.
Wow.
Angel Darth Youngboy wrote in and said, "What's good, KindaFunny gang? I was wondering what commercials are always stuck in your head and why. What makes those commercials memorable? For me, it's an early 1990s Calvin Klein ad featuring Mark Wahlberg and Kate Moss. I don't know what it is about that commercial that sticks out to me. Maybe it's the quote, I'm not saying I would do another Fruit of the Loom commercial, end quote, line, or the, ooh, she's got freckles line. Maybe it's Marky Mark's abs that I wish I had. Nick, rank the abs. Whatever it is, it definitely made me want to go out and get a pack of CK boxer briefs. But I'd love to know what commercials pop up in your heads randomly.
Well, if you want to actually hear Nick very in depth talk about Marky Mark's abs in that very commercial, you should check out Saw 2 in review.
No way.
Oh, we talk about Mark Wahlberg more than we talk about the movie.
But this fucking ad?
The specific, him and the underwear, the ads, like he talks about the abs. We talk about Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Is one of the main stars in Saw
Yeah.
2. So that's where the jump off point is. This is a fun one though, because I feel like there's 1.5 million commercials that are stuck in our head. Like,
and I was wondering for you how many there would be, because I mean, obviously I know you're younger, but like not that young. But it's also like you took to YouTube so early and stuff.
Yeah, but like
I feel like the commercials I can recite from memory and do all the weird things with.
But I feel like I also had the childhood of a lifetime when it came to like having access to Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, and then the Fox and WB kind of more after school stuff, Saturday morning cartoons, but the ever persistent commercials of a Disney Channel, which Disney was always kind of more promoting. Like there must have been some law or something that Disney wasn't allowed to like promote products, because there weren't commercials for things on Disney Channel. It was all commercials for Disney stuff. That was it.
Yeah.
Whereas Nickelodeon was promoting a lot of stuff. So there was the muzzy language stuff, or the blue screen with the yellow fonts of like for only 4 payments of $19.99. Nickelodeon magazine, like all that type of stuff. But the one commercial, like if I had to only name one that is stuck in my head that I feel like verbatim, I could pace it out, visuals, sounds, is the Beatles 1 collection.
Oh, sure.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude, that commercial played
Everywhere.
less than 3,000 times on every station, no matter where you went. And the transition from Hey Jude into Help, like it's just in here.
That unlocked a memory. That unlocked like memories of like driving around in my grandma's car and stuff. Wow.
Yeah, it's I'm right there with you. I remember that one, but like the one that was like it was a collection of rock songs or ballads, right? Can you take me high enough? Almost paradise.
Love
you know
it.
what I mean? I could like it ran so much during late night TV. For me, if I had to pick one, it'll always be capture those dinosaurs, those romping, stomping dinosaurs. It's the dinosaur hunt. Chef Boyardee.
Okay.
Dinosaurs. And it was kids in the safari hat walking around, and they found the Chef Boyardee dinosaur pasta in a can that they were eating and so stoked about.
And then like I feel like there's the ones that are just so damn iconic, and then there's others that are more just the concept is iconic. Like I don't feel like there's any one commercial, but like Super Soakers, just in general, there was a vibe. Action figures, Legos, they all just had a vibe to them that like if you saw it, you know what was going on.
Kids in the coolest backyard ever, and they got like the things, and they're doing the things.
Skip It was a big one, but
Skip It.
if you had a catchy little jingle or like something that was cool as shit, and that Super Soakers were just cool as shit.
And the very best thing of all, there's
God.
a counter on this, but that's the best
it.
thing.
That's the best thing.
That's the best thing about Skip It is that there's a counter
on the
it.
ball. They
yeah.
weren't wrong. But I loved the Super Soaker commercial. I forget what the name of the thing was, but it would shoot goo out. Like, and you can shoot it like backwards, and it would shoot goo, and this kid just gets gooed in the face, and he's just like, ah! Like, I'm sure you can YouTube kid goo Super Soaker.
Oh God! Shout out to the We Are Farmers. Bum, ba, da, bum, 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 bum. That one, I have a very specific one from Ohio. We have a small chain called Discount Drug Mart, and there's a jingle of like, Discount Drug Mart saves you the runaround. We have everything you need.
It's great.
Yeah.
That one's forever fried into my brain.
Similar to the Farmers one, which I think of as a modern one. The modern one I always think of is the Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. Because I know Gia watches as much fucking Forensic Files and headline, whatever, true crime shit.
She doesn't actually do that.
Oh, really?
No, she's a podcast listener to the true crime stuff, and then documentaries.
Liberty, Liberty Mutual is fucking on every other commercial when you're watching Shark Tank or whatever in a hotel. That's where I know that one.
It is so funny watching actual TV nowadays, which is, I feel like, rare for people I know. Like, nobody 100%. Really does it. Like, I mean, I guess Nick does because he's fucking weird, but like, most people watch streaming stuff or whatever because of a lot of the reality TV stuff and how hardcore me and G have gotten into it. Like we pay for YouTube TV and want to watch it live as the new Housewives drops or whatever. So or Bachelor, and like seeing the commercials that ABC has for Bachelor compared to what Bravo has for Housewives is absolutely wild. Like the things that they will be promoting and pushing is so scary, so goddamn scary. But yeah, be safe out there. You're getting added.
I want to call out. When you said it, you just said it like, "Oh, yeah, no big deal." But Shab Raven, I always fuck this up, and every time he corrects it, I'm sorry, Raven. I'm just calling you Raven now. But like, what are the odds Greg would read a question from 2 years ago, the day after Nick talked about it in the Saw 2 in review?
Yeah,
that's a fucking insane moment.
I mean, but also, is it surprising?
I mean,
Nick talking about Mark Wahlberg. It's just gonna happen. We went down a long path. I mean, I had a revelation about Mark Wahlberg yesterday.
Okay.
That I didn't realize that he wasn't in New Kids on the Block and that he rapped with a group called the Funky Bunch.
Yeah. Marky Mark.
I forever just thought Nick was just being Nick and calling the New Kids on the Block, the ones that weren't him, the Funky Bunch.
Wow.
So that he would say that
must have blown your mind.
It really did. And you got to listen to Saw in Review. There was multiple layers of minds being blown about the same exact thing here. Shout out to Donnie, man. Donatello Wahlberg.
We talked about it at the top. James wanted to know a good question, a bad question, right? I said it's either got it. No, this is fine. I'm not gonna be like, this question sucks, this person sucks. I said I either want it to be open-ended conversation or incredibly specific. We turned our eyes to BJ Bernardo, who years ago wrote in and said, "Hi y'all. Which Avengers could Batman beat in an impromptu one-on-one fight?"
Oof.
Oh, sorry. This isn't an open-ended question. The genie don't fuck me rules are this. Number one, for simplicity, these are any and all MCU Avengers that showed up in the Avengers Endgame final battle.
Okay.
Number two, it's the regular, no superpowers, no special pill Batman. However, they are fighting in Gotham. Number three, both Batman and the Avengers have no prep time for their opponent and no prior knowledge of each other. So no special gear. The character would have on what they normally have on if told to get ready to fight. Parentheses, Batman has a bat suit and bat belt. Black Widow has her shock sticks and shooters, etc. Number four, this is not a gauntlet match. This is not a gauntlet match.
Singles.
But then he says Batman will not carry fatigue or damage into the next fight.
Yeah.
Are we fighting all the Avengers?
Yeah. The idea is like, it's not a how many could he beat. It's like individually, how many could he beat?
Okay. Number five, because Batman has his bat suit, he can't call any bat vehicle or radio into Alfred for support. He cannot call Robin or the Bat family to fight with him. Fair. They don't care. Those are the rules. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope those rules help. Thanks, BJ.
I mean, my gut jumps to, I think, a majority. I think that Batman has been positioned to be very capable and even just prepared without being prepared to take things down. Yeah. So I feel like it's easier to be like, which ones absolutely could he not beat? And I think it's the Thor, it's the Hulk, it's the ones that are the Wanda, right? Doctor Strange. Captain Marvel. I feel like that's probably a group of its own that can't be there. Then there's weird ones.
I think you get Doctor Strange. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be easy. Yeah. I'm not saying this is like a thing, but in a toss-up between them, I think Strange is cocky enough that
there is a cocky factor.
You're on a bat suit or whatever. And,
yeah. Yeah, look behind you.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's Batman's whole shit, right? He's going to fade into the shadows stuff. Beat
Exactly.
Captain America's ass when Marvel and DC crossed over, don't forget.
Yeah, I think he'd beat Cap's ass.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, I think, is a tough one where I think Spider-Man... I feel like a lot of the Avengers could beat Batman, clearly. But I think Bats takes
This
it.
was a big argument in high school when I was a freshman and with a group of seniors that liked me or whatever, where they knew that I was the comic dork and I knew all this. And, I read blah, blah, blah. But there was an ongoing argument with this group of seniors or whatever that were friends. If Spider-Man could beat Batman or Batman could beat Spider-Man. And they came to me as like, Greg, you're the biggest comic nerd in school. What did you think? And I was like, Batman in easy.
Yeah.
And like, what about this? And like, I would give them answers, I was making the shit up, right? Or whatever about overloading the spider sense and all these different things I think Batman would do. But they were like, one half was so angry. Like, what are you talking about though? He's Spider-Man.
It is cool to see Spider-Man evolve in so many different ways across different media where Spider-Man is now an adult. Like Peter Parker is an adult in the comics, but like I feel like we haven't really seen it in the movies and stuff. Well, I guess with Spider-Verse we have. Miles has kind of come in as the young perspective that I feel like we most associate with Spider-Man. But I feel like the more adult Spider-Man is a lot more equipped in a bat fight, right? Whereas like the kid being overwhelmed, all that, I do think that has it easy. I feel like a more modern Peter Parker Spider-Man, it'd be a tougher fight. But yeah, I still think overall I'm giving that one to Batman.
Okay, fair enough. What I'd like to do now, of course, is turn my attention to the chat where I will yell at DJ Kento. He says, no, they tied about Batman and Captain America. Sorry, Greg, but Batman and Cap were even. That was the point. It was a standoff. No, remember, the Shield fucking missed and he took him out. We will jump to ScreenRant.com. In the third issue of the crossover, Captain America and Batman fought in the sewers of Manhattan, where they had a pretty even fight. Cap even proclaimed he's never fought someone who he was so evenly matched with, including the Red Skull, Hydra, and Zemo. Batman and Captain America exchanged multiple blows for hours on end. However, water eventually gushed through the sewer vent, knocking Steve Rogers on his feet, it says, as he threw his shield and missed Batman. The Cape Crusader managed to hit Batman with the Cape Crusader managed to hit Captain America with his batarang, but immediately rescued Cap from drowning. As they emerge from the sewer, Cap declares Batman the victor of the fight, since he came up short in the fight. DJ Kento, just fucking go out of your house right now, go to the garage, open up your car door, slam your hand in it.
Whoa.
You think I get this wrong?
Needs that hand.
You think I would misremember this? I think the image in my head isn't even the shield missing. It's the Batman helping Captain America's beating fucking ass out of the goddamn sewer.
I'm happy that you had that, Greg. And in 1998, I had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation, meet the Power Rangers in space.
Nice.
It was perfect. I think they were on the moon and they shook hands and the explosions happened behind each of them. It was fucking awesome. Remember Venus?
No.
The fifth turtle?
Oh, yeah. I talked to someone about that.
Venus de Milo.
Yeah. I was wondering why she never took off more. You know?
The show wasn't good. Nothing about it was good, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Just make me want to read DC.
Another blue turtle. Come on.
I don't think I had. You know, I want to go home.
Yeah.
And do a bunch of different stuff. I'm sorry. What DJ Kenta says it was declared by voting.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah, I remember voting in my comic book shop. What's your point? I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying the canon event that happened was no longer canon because you didn't like how the vote was? Are you saying stop the count, DJ Kenta? Are you saying that the democracy? Where were you on January 6th, DJ Kenta? Where were you on January 6th?
I don't even know what to say sometimes, Greg.
You don't need to say I mean, don't get me wrong. When I fucking find somebody who tried to take down America, when I find a treasonous bastard in our ranks, when I find somebody trying to question canon, trying to question DC Marvel canon because they don't like the way the votes came down, I think you know what's up.
I showed Gia your PC Gamer Rat on Games Daily yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to try to find the footage to send you, Barrett, because it is so funny. But somebody has the coolest thing I've ever seen. In their backyard, they got a fire pit.
Yes, I retweeted this.
The fire pit live. Yeah, if you could find it on Greg's Twitter.
I retweeted, yes.
It live reacts to sound.
Yeah.
Like a visualizer, but it's with fucking real fire. And they recorded Greg's rant with the fire. So because of that, I was like, oh, gee, you got to watch this. And I started showing her. And, you know, she's laughing a little bit. She's watching. She doesn't fully understand it all. Hold on, you can play with audio for a sec.
Let me get my Magic 8 Ball out. Magic 8 Ball. Is Starfield going to work on PC flawlessly? Not a fucking chance. And so what I'm going to do...
The fucking flyer rises, all right? Seeing this stuff is... It's just a lot, Greg. It's a lot. But I watched it with her, and I saw her face. I saw her taking it in. I saw her just start to get beat down. And at the end of it, I'm like, why are you making that face? And she goes, I just don't like the Ronald McDonald stuff. And I was like, this isn't that. And she's like, it's not it, though.
Yeah.
It's true. I like to go to that dark place. What I appreciate about this is that Kelsey is video Jamesing, the Sherpa is gaming who put this up, right? Admitted that I bought this ridiculous fire pit. I'm glad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad they know that this is a ridiculous purchase. I mean, a fire pit that will respond to the flames you're doing.
It's pretty damn cool. I have never seen anything like that, and I love it. Big fan of the pomp and circumstance.
Real quick to close the thread, DJ Kento says he's not a fan of this joke. So we're done making jokes about DJ Kento and his vote counting business on the DC Marvel thing.
We're done.
So that's a pickle situation. We're not talking about it.
We're done.
Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. Leave him alone. Yeah, but I grew up in that era of reading comics in the 90s, right, where it was that Batman could beat anybody. Wizard did the whole thing of him taking down the Justice League. They showed how that fight would go, yada, yada, yada. And it just became canon of like, okay, cool, Batman can beat anybody. And I don't personally love that.
Yeah,
because it's bullshit. Of course,
I totally feel.
If Superman decided to kill him, Superman's gonna kill him. Yeah, if Batman's got kryptonite and yada yada. I get all that, but I mean, like, if he's on the rooftop talking to fucking Gordon, right, and Superman slams down into him,
Dunzos.
Yeah,
and that's popularity, right? It's the plot armor of it all.
Sure.
And there's the fan armor, even of just people wanting to rock for their peoples.
Yeah,
and want to make sure that they are the best. They are the.
I'll tell you what, that '90s crossover
boy.
broke my heart it broke my heart. You knew how it was going to go, especially with the vote, right? But then when Spider-Man beat Superboy, because you know how much I love Superboy, and this was also Ben Reilly Spider-Man, right? This was
you're right.
This was the whole like, hey, we've just come off with the Clone Saga that broke my heart and chased me away from being a Spider-Man fan. So for him to lose there, I was not having it.
Not good at all. Yeah, that's right. But I'm a Spider-Boy, so
yeah, of course. I mean, now we're all back. Now we can all make it Spider-Man. Now let's do another final scroll. We'll go to the bottom of the dock. Let's see what I got down here in the end. Okay. Jesus. We don't need to answer this one, but I'll delete it. What Cozy Bear says, what non-kind-of-funny related experience are you looking forward to the most in 2022? So that was a 2021 question.
That's so funny.
Oh, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's weird to me. I think about this a lot. I don't know if anything in my life is kind of funny. And I don't mean that, like, oh, my life's my job and all that. It's more just like, because what this job is, for me in particular, it literally is everything. And like every story I have is content. And like a lot of people might not like that. I love it. So it works out for me.
And then when it comes to the nerd side, it's like, that's the stuff that we love. But then that's also like, oh, well, we're watching Ahsoka tonight, but then we're also going to talk about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So like that's weird. It's cool. Like sometimes there's annoyances that come with that, but
this isn't the question I'm going to read, but it's just an easy one, so I'll toss it out there. David writes in and says, can you ask Barrett if he ever had Skyline 3-way chili in Cincinnati, Ohio?
I've never been to Cincinnati.
There you go. That was an easy one.
Unfortunately. I hear great things about it, though. That's the cool part of Ohio.
Okay, here's the thing, everybody. I just had a moment blink into my mind, you saying Cincinnati. Do y'all remember the movie Babes in Toyland?
Yes, of course. Are you talking about the original one with Annette Funicello, or are you talking about... Okay.
I'm talking about the 90s one.
I never watched the 90s one.
Okay. You and Ben need to watch it.
Okay.
But Greg, you need to watch this movie. Because it was one of those Disney Channel movies that would just be on all day on repeat, in the early 90s. And I remember, for some reason, being obsessed with it. Like, there's something about the movie that I really enjoyed. In my later years, fairly recently, I discovered that two of the main actors, Keanu Reeves and Drew Barrymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
Very young in both ways.
86?
There was an opening scene to this movie that goes on way too long, and I think every single person out there should go on YouTube and type in Babes in Toyland, Cincinnati, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a Cincinnati song, apparently, that you might know. People might know. I don't know it. But they sing the whole song about Cincinnati, and I'm pretty sure it ends in a car crash.
Jesus.
But, like, seeing Keanu Reeves and Drew Barrymore go harder than I've ever seen people sing is the weirdest way this movie possibly could have opened. But they committed. Movies were just made different back then.
100%. I'm going to listen to a little bit here while I talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Off the mic. See if I just want to know if I know the song.
Yeah. I think they try to spell Cincinnati, which I don't have my ass in thing going.
No, I don't know this.
Really quick, I do want to clarify. I have had like the chili dog with the spaghetti stuff, because that was just like kind of all over Ohio, I believe. I remember having that as a kid. Never loved it. It's fucking weird.
Cali's.
really, really, really wish that I loved wild food more than I do. Like, in theory, there's nothing Tim Geddes should love more than like, it's a hot dog, but with spaghetti, or it's a cheeseburger, but with like jalapeno poppers on it.
But Tim,
like,
here's the thing. There's a reason why these things are not popularized, right?
but
It's
even
like
the popular ones, even like popular ideas of like combining
Popular.
things into one meal. It's like, I would always rather the one or the other. I'm down for fusion. I'm down for when it's more of like an actual mix of flavors or textures or whatever it is, like cuisines. I'm talking when it's more just like the KFC double down type stuff, where like in theory it's awesome, but it's just not it.
It's too much.
Final one. Trying to find if there's any ridiculous ones in here
What a
that are
good
also
one.
super quiet. Or
What a real good one.
There's one in there like, how do you feel about the FCF getting a peacock thing? Like, oh, that's also very incredibly old. No, we'll go back down to where I was. And I was here looking at this one, all right? And I think it's actually a nice full circle moment to end the show. Mr. Nice Guy Rye writes in from Forever Ago and says, hey, best friends, what is your favorite piece of clothing to wear? Mine is a thin fabric hoodie that I got from a distillery in Kentucky. It's black with tan writing. I love it because my friends and I all bought one the same day and we wore it around all weekend. It was such a fun memory. Also, it goes with almost anything, and it's the perfect item to wear when it gets slightly chilly. I think I look good in it too, and that doesn't hurt. Feel free to share when you like to wear it and the meaning behind it if there is any. Lastly, I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me over the last 2 years. My brother introduced me all to you on KindaFunny Day 2020. I spent a couple of hours trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and the rest of the day laughing my ass off and smiling. You are such a big part of my life. Your content throughout the pandemic has been a saving grace, and it's wild to think that I have barely seen you all in studio to this point. I can't wait to see the new digs and all that is in store. Thank you again, forever grateful and in your debt. Rye Gillian, Mr. Nice Guy, Rye.
So I was trying to find a picture, but it doesn't exist from my like high school days. I had this hoodie that I was just obsessed with. It was the perfect balance of Tim Geddes colors, where it was the stormtrooper base of the white black accents, and then just the pops of just the most obnoxiously nice blues.
Yeah.
And I loved that thing so much. A vaguely floral all over print situation going on.
Nice.
Matched perfectly with my military fours, the Jordans. A name that makes you think one thing, but they're not that at all. You'd think military force, you think like
Camo
and stuff like that. It's not that. That military force, white base, some little gray, and then like pops of blue. But loved that hoodie so much. Eventually, it just, I still have it. It's one of the rare pieces of clothes that I'm like, I'm gonna keep this forever, even though it's unwearable, it's tattered.
Yeah,
I
but
freaking love
you
that.
can't come to get rid of it. Yeah.
There was that. There was a Tracy McGrady jersey from the Magic. Again, loved the colors of the jersey. That was pretty much it. Modern days, I don't think there's any one. My black leather jacket, I'm a really, really big fan of.
Sure.
But I think more for me, it's just the Tim Geddes cartoon character type stuff where I've really kind of honed in and nailed Jordans, usually 1s or 4s, a black shirt, bomber jacket, chain, and matching belt, and change the colors, but it's the same outfit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's it for me. And I'm a big fan of it. Still don't got the pants/jeans situation down. Not a big fan of any of them that I've tried. So
I like my black jeans a lot. You know, I only wear them when they're both dirty. That's when you see me break out a blue. And I just got to I got to toss the blues and just get two more blacks because it's just I like the black so much more. You know what I mean?
See, I like the look. It's making your eyes pop. I feel like it's
the black would make everything pop too. I don't know about that. I'm liking the collar shirt run right now. I really like that Mill Valley Pasta shirt I wore yesterday, and the chat was on fire with Greg looks like a milkman. When is Greg gonna do this hard work? You know, blue collar stuff. I liked all those jokes, but I like that shirt. I'm like, I should get more of these too. It'd be trite, but I'll say it. My Ghostbusters jumpsuits, of course, I adore and love very much. Of
course.
I like my Ghostbusters 2-1 more. I think it fits better, and I like the coloring more. It's more movie accurate. But then I guess in terms of like actual pieces of clothing, I have my Gruesome Greggy shirt. That white shirt that says Gruesome Greggy has an iron on and has an American flag on the black on the back. It was given to me when we were Backyard Wrestling by Poe. It was like a Christmas gift that Poe went. And it was like, I remember I'm still... Poe is not a sentimental guy. And it was that thing of like, he had to go to we're in high school, we're kids, you know what I mean? And he had to go to the mall and get this shirt made and like do all
It was a process.
Yeah.
Money was involved.
There wasn't the internet. There wasn't a .com. There wasn't a thing. You know what I mean?
Upload a JPEG. No.
Yeah. It's like, and that's another ridiculous fact then of I'm 40 now and I've had that shirt since I was 17 probably.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's still in great shape and does all this thing.
That's awesome.
And on the back of it, I wrote in magic marker in college because it had an American flag on it. I had my Caps partner freshman year of college, the drinking game the Antlers played for the annual Caps tournament was Adam White. So we called ourselves Adam White and Blue because everybody called me Blue because I had blue hair.
Oh, I like
so I
that.
wrote that on the shirt
That's
in
good.
Sharpie, so it's still faded there or whatever. So it's like double
Multiple
memories. But
memories,
I just wore it last
love
night,
that.
2 nights ago to bed or whatever. So it's like
That's great.
still in the rotation, still
Hell
doing
yeah,
its thing.
man. So cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're so cool. Thanks
You
for
are.
watching and listening to another episode of the Kinda Funny podcast. Remember that each and every week, 4, sometimes 2 best friends gather on this table, each coming to hang out with each other and talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. If you want to talk with us, of course, head to patreon.com/kindafunny where you can be watching live just like Cody was, Murder with Mertens, a horror film podcast was, Matthew was. Of course, you can sound off there where they're getting the show ad-free, watching it a day before it goes anywhere else. Of course, when it does go other places, you can still come to patreon.com/kindafunny, get it ad-free. You could also get the ability to watch the other podcasts live as we record them and on demand ad-free as an MP3 and a video. You get 300 bonus episodes of content since October. And of course, you can get cool exclusive poster shirts and all sorts of stuff up there at that premium tier. However, if you have no bucks tossed our way, no big deal. YouTube.com/kindafunnygames, podcast service. No, damn. I do so many game shows.
I know.
YouTube.com/kindafunny. And of course, podcast services around the globe. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you.